Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yep,
can.
I can hear you.
Okay. So what we are going to be talking about today is user design principles, and in this class we are going to be talking about design guides, understanding color styles, iconography, typography, the do's and don'ts of UI design, basically the principles of user interface design. Then we are going to summarize everything. So first and foremost, we are going to be talking about design guide. Basically, design guide is a system that help you keep your design consistent. Now, why do professional designers why do they use design guides? In some situations, just like I said yesterday in the class, I said there will be need for you to reuse some elements, some component of your designs. There will be need for you to use them, and peradventure you can also re-edit along the line. But in this case, major guys design guys are being reused. So that is the reason why we create design styles for designers to easily access them so that it can accelerate their design process. Some examples of design guides, we have typography, we have UI components. The UI components is the image you are seeing on the right side of the screen, and we also have iconography. You can also reuse the styles of your icons, and we have sizing and spacing system. We also have color palette. So there are so many design guides that you can use, but these are the major ones I've been able to come up with. So we are going to talk about color styles. In the first instance, as a beginner, it can be quite difficult for you to identify colors, for you to mix colors, but it's all easy, if I must say. So creating color scheme in user interface might seem quite hard, but especially as a beginner, it is not complicated as what most designers think. Basically, if you are able to differentiate what your primary colors are, what the secondary colors are, and what other colors you want to use for the products you are working on. And in real life projects, there will be some brand color that the company or the organization you are working with might want you to use. Just like let me use Twitter for instance. You all know that Twitter, they have a brand color which is sky blue. So they have sky blue. Yes, I think sky blue is the major primary color they are using. So yes, that is their brand color. And that of Facebook, we also have that's blue. That's for the brand, and so many other brands for other companies like that. So depending on the project you are working on, there will be a color that you want to use. Then what I would also add to it is whenever you are using colors, don't be too overwhelmed that you want to add many colors, as many as possible. You have to make it brief. At least you have to limit the way you make choices with your colors, and so I think that would help you, and that would help you in designing a well accessible interface. And we also have types of colors. We have primary colors, we have secondary colors, accent colors, and semantic colors. So depending on the project you're working on, all these is going to pop up as the case may be. So the next thing we have iconography. Now we all know what icons are. They are the ones on the right side of the screen. Icons are one of the essential language that are used to represent the features, functionalities, or let me say content. That is, when we are talking about icons, for you to enhance easy usability of your users, icons also enhances that. So it is one of the visual elements that are recognized and understood immediately. That is, if you are trying to pass an information to your users, you can do that by easily adding icons to whatever information you are passing. It will be quite easy and accessible to them. And one thing about icons is that you have to be very careful in missing your icons. If you are using a linear icons, what I mean by linear icons are icons that are usually kind of the border radius are curved. If you are using a linear icon at the front, those linear icons all on design. If you are using the linear icons and you're also mixing them with both icons at the middle design, it's going to be awful design. So that is one of the things most designers watch out for anytime they are looking at designs of people. You have to be very, very consistent in whatever you are doing. If you are using design for let's say plain design, just like the one on the screen here is a light design. If you are using a light design, make sure you use the light designs all through your project. So that is iconography. Then the next one is typography. Typography and design is the art of arranging letters and text in a way that makes the copy legible, clear, and visually appealing to the reader. That is, if you want your reader to be able to access whatever you're designing, it is the work of typography. That's font. Whatever font you are using, you have to be very, very, very careful with it. It involves font style, appearance, and structure, which aims to elicit certain emotions and convey specific message to the users. So in any way, we have different type of fonts. We have Montserrat, we have serif, we have sans serif, we have Akivo, we have Poppins, we have Roboto, and so on and so forth. So in if you are trying to maybe kind of finding it hard to get a font for your design, we have that at the right side of your design panel in your Figma environment. So you can select to anyone that you want to work with. So the next thing on our list is the user designs, the do's and don'ts of user interface. Now we have to be more practical. We have to be a bit more practical in this aspect because most things that we see in designs are not actually true. Yes, depending on whatever you see on designs, most of them are not actually true because some might go against the rules of UI interface. So we are going to be moving to a Figma environment. So the first thing on the list is formatting content. Now, one thing about formatting content is creating a layout that fits the screen of a device. Now, I'm going to be showing you an example of a page. This is a mobile design for a real estate product. So yes, when we are talking about formatting content, it's just like layouts that fit the screen of a device. Now look at it now. If this design now it is not properly aligned, let me assume this design was like this. Can you all see what I'm doing now? Can you see it very well?
Yes, we can see what you're doing.
Okay, now let me assume the design was like this. Now it was not properly placed, it was not properly aligned to the screen. Now this is where the fault lies. In any design you are doing, it has to be properly formatted. That is, the organization must be very, very well and properly aligned. So without zooming, you don't have any problem. It has to be seen clearly so that users cannot be zooming in, zooming out just for them to access any information or any products. So it has to be properly aligned so that it can be visible and aesthetically pleasing to the users. So the next thing is we are talking about hit targets. Now, when we are talking about hit targets, it is basically pinpointing your buttons and your, let me say, search buttons, whatever you think that the users might need to click. Now, when I say what users might need to click, I'm talking about buttons in particular now. Let me try and create a button here. Let me say this is a button. Let me change the color to blue. Okay. Okay, I think this is better. So let me change the border radius to 15, and then um, sign up. So I want to increase the width of the button. Let me increase the font as well to 20 so it can be more visible for everyone to see. And I would like to change the colors to white. So yes, so the next thing we are going to do, we want to align. So what we're going to do, we are going to click on the rectangle. Don't forget Alt H and Alt V. That's align at this right hand side of your panel. The align left and the align center and the align vertical. So it has been properly aligned now. So now imagine a user as a user now. What they are talking about is if you are creating a button and you know the users are actually going to click this button, so the least height of the button must be within the range of 44 upward, or let me say 44 to 64 pixel. Now what I mean now is look at the height of this rectangle. If you can see very well now on this side now, the height is 39, which is not ideal in design. If you are to create a well accurate design, it ought to begin the height ought to begin at 44. So you can see now I've increased the height of the rectangle. So let me properly align it now. Okay, I think it's better now. So this is a properly aligned, a properly measured button. So it allowed the users to click easily. You know, the whenever we are clicking any button in our mobile, anything mobile apps, it's we usually make use of thumb most times. So we believe user designer believe that if you are using a thumb, so the thumb is more bigger than the rest of the fingers. So they believe whatever you need to click must be within the range of that pixel. So that is what e-target is talking about. The next thing is text size. Now in mobile designs, you are working on any mobile work, the least font you have to use in any product you are working on is 11. Now what do I mean? Let me create a text here now. Okay. Now let me assume to use 10. Now if you would agree with me, we cannot see most of us cannot see what is actually written on the screen. Why? Because the font is way too small for us to behold. So most of the want to believe some of the users is having eye defect. So that is why in mobile design especially, the least font we have to use is 12. So meaning that 12, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, all through to 18 are the font sizes that we should make use of in mobile designs. So that is what text size is talking about. So you should not go against that rule. Don't forget the least font size you have to use is 11 point. So that is that of text. Then the next one we'll be talking about is contrast. Now look at the design on your screen now. You can all see the contrast. You can all see most of what is there. And let me say in a situation whereby this current location that is here now, let me say I'm trying to change it to something that is more okay, something like this. Now I want to believe most of us can't see this. I'm talking about the current location because the contrast is not legible. So meaning that if you want to create anything, whatever contrast or whatever color you are using, make sure you use a very well proper contrast that is going to make users to see very well. So So if you want to do that, you can actually scroll to anything, and don't forget it mustn't be too loud depending on whatever attention you want your users to focus on. In this case now, in this part now, I want the users to focus on this location that is here. Now, if I'm trying to change this to a deep black, that means it is competing the visual hierarchy. They are competing. I'm talking about the current location and the location that is at the bottom of it. So for easy accessibility and for you to maintain the principle of visual hierarchy, we are going to reduce the contrast of this, but not too light. So it's going to be a medium thing. So I think that is what contrast is all about. And most especially, just like I said yesterday, don't be tempted to use a gray um, color on a colored background. For instance, if you are using a gray color on blue or red background, it's going to be an awful design. So in any case, don't be tempted to do that. So the next thing is our spacing system. Now, how does the spacing work? Basically, and when you are presenting a design, maybe to your mentor or to anyone that you want for them to review for you, the first thing that they are going to check is the spacing. How well did you space your design? And which is why I'm going to talk about some spacing rule in designing. Basically, we will make use of a let me see, 4.8.16. Just everything are going to be in multiple of 4. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, if you look at this design here now, the spacing between this the search button and this advert here now is 16. Okay, that's divisible by 4. Yeah. So going to the next one now. The spacing between this is also what, 20%, 20 points, which is also divisible by 4. Now go to the next one here now. The spacing between this is also what, 24 pixel, which is also divisible by 4. So in what I'm trying to say is, whatever space you want to use in mobile design, also in web designs, make sure they are always divisible by 4. 4 starting from 4, 8, 16, 24, 28, 32, 64, and so on and so forth. So that is what makes your spacing system much better. So the next thing is high resolution. Now let me okay, come here. Once you understand. Now, what I mean by high resolution is there are some pictures that you might want to use in your designs. You might actually need to check the quality, because it is the quality that enhances the beauty of your design. If the quality of your image are bad, then I'm sorry, the design is not going to be aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. So it is very, very essential, if you are making use of an high quality resolution image. All images that are not multiple by 2 and 3 will appear blurry on the retina display. So it is very, very essential, if you make sure you are checking the images you are using for your designs. It is very, very important, so as not to present the bad designs. So the next thing is distortion. Now, what do I mean by distortion? Now, let me make use of this. For instance, now let me see. You want to increase the size of this particular image on the screen. Now, this image here. Now, you want to increase this image on the screen. So, initially, it is just by moving, using the move button, which is this. So I would actually say it's not quite ideal if you are using that to increase the size of your image or whatever you want to do. The ideal way of doing that, so as to maintain the height and width of that particular image, it is using scale tool. Now the scale tool on the top right side, it is this second option here. You just click on the scale tool, or you can easily click K, just punch on K on your keyboard to bring it out. So you can see now the height and the width are moving proportionally. You can also see how it is. So if you want to increase any size of any image or maybe a button, the best way and the ideal way of doing that is by using scale to avoid distortion of images. So the next one on this is the next one here is organization. Now you can all see the way the work here is very organized. Now what do I mean by organized? That it is a way of creating an easy to read layout that puts control close to the content they modify. Now, if you want your user to read whatever content you are presenting, whatever design you are presenting very well, it is very essential that you organize them in a way that it will be very accessible. Now you can all see this is a menu button. This is a filter button, and you can see you can select any location from this angle here, and you can as well search for any location on this side. So these two image here now is actually talking about paying for a rent at an amount of 750,000 and 500,000 respectively. So that is how organization works. It has to be very well aligned and easy to read for your users to be able to use your product again. So basically, one of the reasons why we are doing this is if you want users to keep on using your product, you want them to keep on coming to your website. So these principles and these do's and don'ts are actually things that designers work with just to enhance easy and well accessible um, product. So the next thing is alignment. Just like I said earlier, it is very essential if your work are being aligned. And I could remember I talked about where we can find those design patterns. That is on the top right side of your screen. We have so many options that you can choose from to align your work. Now, let me imagine this design was like this. Okay, it was placed at the left hand side of the screen. Now, if you want to align them to the center, if you want to align the all the contents at the center, what you need to do is just clicking on this icon here, that's align horizontal center. So what is actually going to do is it is going to fit the image properly at the center of the frame. You can also see this is the frame here. So this is the content I want to align. I want to make it properly aligned. So what I'm going to do now is I'll click on this align horizontal centers, which is the second icon on the left from the left hand side. So clicking on it now, you can see it is properly placed. Now, one thing I also wanted to notice is looking at this design. What I use here, if you are holding this design and you are pressing your hotkey, you can see it is bringing out 16 at both sides of the screen. Now, it is very essential you make sure if you are using 16, if you are using the margin of 16 at the left hand side, always make sure you are also maintaining that 16 at the right hand side of the frame. So it is very important if you are being consistent in whatever you are doing in both colors, in both alignment, in both organization, in using icon and component. You have to be very consistent. So that is one of the things designers will be looking for, or let's say recruiter. That is those are one of the things they will be looking for: your alignment, your formatting, your colors, how you mix colors, and how you use component. That is basically, but this alignment is one of the things they are actually going to watch at first. So make sure they are properly aligned. It is 16, the margins here now are 16 on both sides. So that is what alignment is all about. So um So we're able to talk about formatting content, e-target, that is button. You want the height of the button, the height of every button you want to create, or the height of anything you want them to click must the least height must be 44 pixel. So it can be 44 upward, up, let me say 44 to 64. So your text size, you must make sure your text size is something that is users can easily access. That is, you must always make sure you start, the least font you are using is 11 pixel. Then your contrast, always make sure you use colors that are not going to be blurry, that are not going to be difficult for some of your users to read, because we believe some of our users of the product are actually having eye defect. That's what most designers think. So that is why you must always follow the principle of contrast. And the fifth one is spacing. When we talk about the spacing, it's all about being consistent. If you are starting with 16 at first, make sure you follow through. Then make sure you don't go against the divisible by 4 spacing system. It is very because most of designers, they actually check that in your designs. You make sure you follow that divisible by 4 spacing system. Then the sixth thing is high resolution. High resolution is making use of images that are not too blurry for your product. Using images or icons that are blurry is actually going to make your work very messy. So as a designer, you wouldn't want to do that. And the seventh thing is distortion. It's all about increasing the height and width of your image or button, as the case may be. So what I said earlier was, in if you are in any situation whereby you need to increase any image or any button, what you need to do is by making use of your scale button, which is by using the shortcut K. That is the shortcut for scaling button. So once you press that, you can actually scale it to whatever height you want to. So, and the last thing is alignment. When you are aligning, just make sure everything works together. If you are using 24, if you are using the margin of 24 on the left side, make sure 24 is also on the right side. But I wouldn't advise you to use 24, because 24 is quite going to be a lot of margin on the screen side. So what you should start from 16, 20, 16 and 20 pixel works better. So that is how element works in design. So user interface design plays an important role in determining how people interact with software products. That is, if you want your users to keep on coming to your product, you have to make things very easy for them. You have to make things very convenient for them. You have to make it accessible for them. And how do you do that? Make sure whatever things you are doing, whatever designs you started with, make sure they are all consistent, make sure they are coherent, and make sure everything is accessible for them. This is because UI designs has to do with how different visual elements such as colors, typography, imagery, and work together to create seamless user experience. So all these things, all these elements of UI designs, such as color, typography, and imagery, has to work together to have a aesthetically pleasing design for users. The overall design project is to create a product that is both aesthetically pleasing and easy to interact with. In other words, the product needs to create a pleasant experience for users. So if you want to create an experience, experience, if a user feels comfortable in using your products daily, he or she would also want to come back another time to use that particular product. And how do you make products comfortable for users? It is just by maintaining and not going against the rules of your UI design principles. If you are going against them, you're actually making things messy for them. They would not want to come back the second time. So if you want to if you want to maintain your customers, you have to maintain your product. You have to make it more sharp and more polished. So that is the whole thing in summary. And if there is any question, any question so far for the Yeah, if you have any questions so far for what I've explained earlier, if there's any question you want to ask, feel free to ask now. Okay, I want to read some of the comments in the in-call messages. Someone said, please, I joined late while you were explaining the component assignment. Is it possible for you to briefly explain again? Okay, basically the assignment, I'm talking about the component assignment. I made a video. Yes, I dropped a video yesterday. So the video was all about buttons, but in this case now I want you to do something like icon. Now, when you are creating the first icon, you insert your component that by just in that Control Alt K. That will insert the component automatically. So once you've created the first component, all you need to do, you will see. I think you can.